I promise this is homework. I really hope this video doesn't do well, only on the premise that I don't have to send it to my mother. Look, we've all been there, okay? We're watching an anime and a questionable scene pops up on screen. Boom, mom walks in, okay? It happens. In fact, it happened to me quite recently, in fact. After posting our Good Anime You Can't Watch in Public 3 video, I got a text from my mom that said, I watched your latest video about your porn cartoons. This is not a bit, this is a real text I received from my mother. So that begs the question, how do I explain to her that this isn't cartoons and just regular cartoons, but Japanese? And I figured, let's kill two birds with one stone. I can make some content for you, and I can also come up with a good excuse that doesn't get me disowned by my parents. So I'm gonna be explaining what anime is to maybe the people who aren't so privy to the things we're into, specifically at least one show. Adrian, give me a show I can talk about.
Food Wars.
The worst one. Why would we do?
It's the cartooniest, the funniest one. What else?
Okay, all right, we're gonna start from the depths of the bottom and hopefully everything's okay. All right, Mom, so let's start with the general question. What is anime? I'm really upset we're having this conversation. Oh, this is actually gonna turn into gold, I feel like. Okay, so remember growing up how I'd watch cartoons really often? So I'm still doing that, but it's for adults now. What anime is cartoons, but Japanese. Cartoons by Japanese people. Are you following me here? There's different genres and demographics like a shonen, a magical girl, yaoi. Don't look into that last one yet. You were not ready for that. And Food Wars could be considered a battle shonen anime. And you'll see why in a second. So let me just explain the show and I promise you'll catch on. Probably. So with Food Wars, sure, you can focus on the FOODGASMS. I get why you would. Clearly the animation budget is pretty focused on them. But the show is actually way more than that. So the main character is Soma. He's a star of Food Wars. He's an underdog chef who came up training under his dad in his family's local restaurant. So when you think of Soma, think of your classic underdog protagonist. It's basically like Harry Potter, but instead of him being a wizard, he's a chef. And instead of his parents dying and leaving him alone to be an orphan, his parents alive and left him alone for business. That's actually pretty common in Japanese anime, but we'll get into that a whole different episode. And just like Harry Potter, he attends this school, but instead of wizarding, they're chefs. And it turns out that even though Soma's family restaurant is pretty humble, his dad's a big deal in the cooking world. He attended a very fancy cooking school, which is very important to the story, Totsuki Academy. Toki Academy is like Food Wars Hogwarts. It's old as hell, it's very big, lots of very famous people teach there, and it's got a major problem with elitism. And to drive home this whole Harry Potter analogy, the Polar Star Dormitory, the house Soma stays in when he has to dorm at the school, is basically Gryffindor. He makes a whole bunch of friends from different places and backgrounds of the dorm, and he has a good time. Totsuki isn't your normal run-of-the-mill high school. It's a hyper-elite cooking school full of the most promising young cooks from all over Japan. It boasts a 10% graduation rate, and that's a good thing. Y'all are a terrible school. That's why I went to my university, because it's like very easy to graduate. Thanks, Mom. But the school has a big problem with elitism, meaning if you're not good, you're pretty much just gonna get expelled. And I don't know how that's gonna work. Like, are those credits transferable? Am I gonna go to cooking tech? Like, not the best choice, personally. The school is run by a group of students called the Elite 10, which is sort of like student council, but if student council was made of everyone who got the best SAT scores or something. So not me. If you're a good enough chef, you basically get to run the school, and you get to be in the Elite 10 if you win something called Food Wars. It's the name of the show. But in Japanese, they call it Shokugeki, but I would never actually say that to you because I'm pretty sure you'd think that was a cuss word. So we're gonna go with Food Wars. But what's a food war? I don't know. No one really knows, if I'm being honest. You know how Star Wars has all those stars in wars? It's that, but with food instead of the stars. It's basically like Iron Chef, but instead of like home cooks who have children, it's regular cooks who are. Students challenge each other to Food Wars for all sorts of reasons. To be allowed to start their own clubs, to gain rank in their classes, and even to challenge members of the Elite 10. Food Wars are the bread and butter of Toki Academy. See what I did there with the bread? Because they cook. and that. And pretty much all disputes are settled with them. Are you pissed that a young upstart like Soma has flounced into the hallowed halls of Totsuki Academy? Food war. Are you convinced you can make a better rice bowl? Food war. Are you insulted by the very existence of instant noodles? Food war. Are you protesting the violent takeover of your beloved school? Yeah, food war.
Who's got a better beard, me or Curt?
It's not a war, because I win clearly.
You didn't even give me a chance.
No, you never had one. This is my only good quality. Don't even try. Food wars are the ultimate form of justice at Totsuki. Regardless of how right you may be, if you make a steak during your food war, it's all over, man. It's just how life is at Totsuki. So you know how when I was growing up, we used to watch Hell's Kitchen? It's basically that, except all the contestants are drawn Japanese girls. Every night is basically service night in Hell's Kitchen. If you mess up, you're gone. No challenges in this. You mess up your steak, you just get a penalty. Nah, you're out. You're out of here. The whole idea is a mix of Hell's Kitchen and Iron Chef, but like blended together to make like a really weird baby. It could be a one-on-one, a one-on-two. You could just make a bunch of eggs. Like there's a lot of options here when it comes to the challenges at the Academy. And just like with Hell's Kitchen, you know there has to be a Gordon Ramsay, and this is no exception. In fact, this one is a 15-year-old girl who has a really good tongue. That sounds bad. Wait, hold on. Let me explain. See, Erina is known as the God tongue. I know, all right, that makes it sound worse. All right, please hold on. I'll get to explain it. Give me a second. See, her palate is so refined that she's been sampling and judging the finest foods since childhood. Just look at her very official looking chef's uniform. Or don't look at it. Actually, don't look at it, please. Now, we've covered most of the bases with Food Wars, but we haven't talked about the elephant in the room, like what I was watching right at the beginning of this. Do I gotta explain fan service to you? See, fan service is like with any show, just service for the fans. It could be something fun, something nice, something the fans like. It just so happens that with anime, that the fans like, get a little help here. I don't know. You know you watch Game of Thrones and then every episode there's like a nice little shot every once in a while? Well, same with anime. Okay, so there's no difference here. And it just so happens that this fan service is an artistic rendition of how to eat food. You know what's boring to watch? Someone eating food. Like if this was a 10-minute video of me eating a piece of chicken, I don't think you'd be that interested. So in mediums like this, the question is how to make it interesting. And the author just happened to decide to make it be people having a pleasant time. And I mean, if you're being honest, it's a really intelligent way to go about it. It's a weird argument, but stick with me. You know when you're eating regular food and it's so good, it just makes you go, It's that times 10.
100. Times 100.
Times 100. But like with regular media, hyperbole is necessary to make it more entertaining. And that's the point. But how does all this come together to make Food Wars, a show I watch, and I feel confident of trying to convince you that it's okay that I do? The beauty of the show is getting to see the main characters grow. They start out unsure of themselves and grow to be friends and to be more confident in their abilities, and that's something that's pretty inspiring. Plus the visuals and the story are just something to really sit back and enjoy. And sure, it may not be like the regular shows you might check out on your HBO subscription, but Food Wars to me has some class for people who are in it, and I like that. So I'm not saying you should watch it, please don't, but you shouldn't judge me for it. And I promise, it's not that bad. Now with that being said, audience, if this video reaches 500,000 views, I will send it to my mother and I will record her response. So you can try, especially with that intro. Dear God, I'm gonna be in trouble. So actually don't watch this, do not share it. And if we do reach this goal and Mom, you end up seeing this video, I'm sorry. I'll come to visit you more. I'm Curt. This is GetintheRobot, your anime explainer. Ugh. I'm so...